mostly everybody. Still waiting for a few. Most of you guys are here. So far this class, I mean, everyone's been showing up, so that's a good thing. I have one class that only showed up like maybe half of them. So problem is, I'm still trying to get in contact with everybody, making sure everybody's on the same page. Uh, I mean, we're still continuing class. We're still going to be doing assignments, so just be aware of that. I did make a new, I'm sorry, a new academic calendar, like I was showing you guys earlier. On the 1407 TO2 tab, right above Electude, you're going to see the new modified academic calendar. Click on the tab, and you're going to see what we have for the rest of the semester. Now, so far, what I think, it's just my opinion, um, I think it's going to stay like this for the rest of the semester because of the
That's
whole system
like,
that's going on. I think, and even a lot of like other schools are like they pretty much canceled any face to face. They've gone all full online. So that's a strange time. We're trying to adapt to something new. I know some of us may have a little bit difficult time. Hopefully not, but that's what I'm saying. I'm here. If you need any questions or if you need something, ask me. You send me a remind, email, Pronto, Blackboard, whatever. Just we need to have good communication.
Oh,
Um,
Vega.
what's up?
I am downloading, or not downloading, recording this, so we'll have
Okay,
audio from Discord as well.
awesome. Sounds good. Perfect. I'll get that video from here when we're done. So
Wait, is it true that some schools are actually going to be
Doop
just
doop.
like passing everyone for this semester
I don't know,
and just
man. I
like
haven't
canceling
heard of it.
classes? Because I heard UTRGV is considering that, and I was wondering
bro,
if STC was going to do it.
Sign a
I
petition.
mean, I haven't heard of anything like that. Maybe they are speaking about that until we get like an actual final notice. More than likely, if UTRGB does it, STC more than likely gonna do it. But right now, we don't know.
It
We're
would
pretty
help us
much
out a
taking.
lot because
It,
I mean we were full like hands on. Like I mean
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, we
exactly.
barely did any paperwork, but like
Yeah,
I
no,
was just
definitely.
Yeah,
online.
And I know that's exactly. And I loved it. I love the hands-on. That's the whole point. We're doing it. But in this situation, like we can't.
Yeah.
And honestly, we were doing a lot of good stuff, man. We were doing like everybody had a good situation every single day that we had class, which is awesome because you were able to use all the tools, learn from all the digital multimeters, wiring diagrams, etc., all that good stuff. Fortunately, now we can't do it. I mean, yeah, you can be working on your own car, but
I
I
don't
mean,
see why we can't go back because like our classes are like just such small groups
hmm
of people, you know? Like
yeah,
there's like max 15 kids, and like we all like separate into groups of 3 most of the time.
yeah, but I mean, if it's just one class, how many classes do we run at the same time? Sometimes the
You're
shop
gonna
is
catch
completely
Rona,
packed.
dude.
Different time.
The Rona,
bro, you're
yeah,
forgetting
The
about
Rona.
Hey,
loading
bro,
zone.
here's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Break clean kills everything.
Break yourself
Oh
down. It's
man.
fine.
So here's what we do.
You're not wrong.
We get like one of those decontamination chambers, but instead of that decontamination bullshit, we just have
Shot with
break
break clean.
clean spray into people.
Oh
Just
no.
Make sure to
selective
close your
student
eyes and not
No
breathe.
one would get
Yes.
sick ever.
It's
Maybe
just
you might get like
it's just three of
cancer
us.
from the
Oh my
asbestos.
god.
Because asbestos is the bestest.
Ah,
Oh
yes, the
no.
alternative.
Don't
But I
worry.
mean, at least there's kind of a cure for that.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of.
somewhat.
Could you really call it a cure though?
Oh man, that's too funny. I mean, have y'all gone out? I haven't gone out at all.
I mean, I've
I
gone
I
down to
went out
last
Walmart for
night.
some stuff.
Yeah,
I went
it's
to the
like the
store.
essential stuff.
That's it.
Yeah.
I risked my life for
I
some.
totally wasn't illegally
no.
street raging. What are you talking about?
I was running outside.
Heat.
Oh no. Uh, man, it's weird because we're actually in the first week of April, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 weeks left, guys, of this semester, pretty much.
Dope.
But
Wait for
it
the
will fly
government to
by. I
start
mean,
the
it flies
force.
by when we're in class. To me, it seems like it's going really slow when we're doing online classes. 'Cause, I
Wait,
mean,
so quick question. So, are all the kids graduating this year gonna have to like graduate through like VR or something?
Bro,
Like,
probably,
they're
man.
graduating through Roblox.
Yeah,
Oh my fucking god.
we were discussing that.
everyone's graduating from boot camp in Call of Duty.
Exactly.
It's
They just
Man,
have
they
a
haven't
private
closed anything.
server.
Just to give you the diploma there.
No.
They're just gonna mail it out. That's all it's gonna do. They're not gonna have a ceremony. We might have one later on,
Fuckers.
but I don't think they're gonna have one this semester for that.
What?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they said that there's not. They're gonna for the semester, and they're
Right.
gonna give them their diplomas like later on, or not their diploma, but like their certificates or whatever
Yeah.
they're graduating with.
Yeah, that's all that's gonna happen.
Why don't
man.
they
It's
just do that thing that they do to kids who don't walk at graduation and just give them their diploma in the mail?
they usually
Not
send,
that I
send it in the mail.
didn't walk or
Uh.
anything, but like that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
That makes two of us.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
I gotta
One
give my
senior
high school
prank and
transcript to the
suddenly
SEC.
you're a horrible person.
Oh no.
Honestly, though,
Oh man.
good thing is they
That's
never
great.
caught me.
You do one burnout in the parking lot and suddenly you're gonna
That's
get
it.
arrested for destroying
no.
school
Dude.
property.
That's nothing.
That's
I
nothing.
burned out the day of graduation there at the ceremony. I burned out during our senior lock-in, and then me and a few buddies tandem drifted in our parking lot there at school.
Yeah, I'm
And
pretty
then
sure
I
those
still
dudes
had
know
to
about
go
that.
back last week because I had to finish up one class because it was a college class.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Don't worry, this guy at my school almost ran over our principal. It's fine.
What? Oh wow.
He was
The
like,
Okay,
principal
I never
actually
did
almost ran over me.
Damn.
What school do y'all go to? Holy shit.
Right? You freaking school's wild,
True.
bro.
McAllen Memorial High School, achieving
Okay.
excellence.
There you go.
I went to Rome.
Oh yeah, you guys are worse.
Yeah. Our,
I thought Columbia was bad.
But I
Our-
was like low key a Mac High student because I took welding and auto mechanics in high school, so I was there half of my day and I was at Memorial half the day.
That's cool. Actually, that's pretty badass.
I was gonna do that, but then I couldn't because of my other classes.
Yeah, I didn't
Alright,
do
guys.
any extracurriculars because I'm a degenerate, but it's all
Oh.
good.
Let's go ahead and start today. We'll start chapter 5 today, and we'll continue with our lecture. And then I'll get, like I said, I already gave you guys the assignments for Electude. You already know we're starting chapter 5 for electrical, which is batteries, automotive batteries, battery diagnostics, and service. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of us know what the battery does, right? Hopefully.
I think I'm pretty sure.
I hope so.
It's the thing that goes zap zap, right?
Oh no. So we're gonna explain the purpose of the battery, describe the construction of a conventional, maintenance-free, hybrid, and recombination, define the main elements of the battery, explain the chemical reaction that occurs inside the battery, explain the chemical reaction that occurs on the battery during the cycle, the differences and advantages of the advantages and disadvantages between the types of batteries, which we have 3: maintenance-free, we get AGM, and we have the old school one, which is the conventional, which they don't have those more. Well, they do, but
Lead acid batteries, baby.
they're full acid. Yeah, I mean that's all it is. Um,
I actually had one of those in my old car.
the
Fun.
ones you take off the caps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
had
it's
to
those
blow
for
it.
golf
battery
carts
acid a
nowadays.
couple of times.
Yeah.
It was really
And they're-
funny.
They're really expensive though. My grandpa has a
Loki
golf
thought I was
cart,
gonna explode.
and
Yeah.
he converted his fully electric golf cart to a gasoline because he says those batteries are too damn expensive once they go out, and they were like stupid expensive.
Yeah, my granddad, he did a on the road diesel repair service. So he had 2 big trucks
Mhm.
full of diesel shit and like a couple of generators and welders together so he could do work out there. And they used 6 gigantic ass lead acid
Oh,
batteries. Those
Yeah,
things
that's
are a
what they use.
pain to lug
They're
around.
crazy. I actually saw, and I thought this is pretty cool. Because I used to go camping a lot at the beach. Let me show you real quick. The battery technology has gotten really good actually. I think Tesla is, they're testing their own stuff right now. They're gonna get a longer range battery right now. But Milwaukee, we have a gasoline generator. We should take them out to the beach. I think it was this one right here.
Oh, I've seen those before.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Bro, the Honda ones, they're quiet as hell.
Oh yeah, I have one called the Power Horse, and it's like a Honda equivalent, super quiet, and it runs everything we take out there. But I saw this guy. Milwaukee just created a battery storage device that is used as a generator, and he's using it right now. It's this piece right here, and it's pretty cool
Wait,
because
so it like hooks up to those like 12-volt batteries or like the
I
18,
think
whatever
it's
Milwaukee uses, like those,
I don't know. I think it's
the
actually
one they
just
have on the
a.
bottom of a drill or what?
So I
I
think
think
that
it actually a battery pack.
I think it is the battery pack
Yeah, I think the whole thing is a battery pack.
because it looks like
And
it's being plugged in. Like
yeah.
you actually plug into it, and it'll power something.
Yeah, I think it has a 110 volt and a 220 volt, which is being able to power up other things. So right now it's powering up the TV with this battery pack. Let me see, MX Power Station. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know how much it is.
It's Milwaukee. It's probably expensive.
Oh yeah,
I bet you minimum $5,000.
I hope not. Oh, that's not what I want.
That's the Discord link.
That's the Discord channel. Yeah, it was a MX Power Station. Here you go. I think it's awesome, and it's cool because you're not gonna be wasting any fuel. So 3600 watts, 1800 watts power supply, power on demand. It's got two 110 volts. There's yeah, two giant battery packs, one on top, one on bottom. Wow, like I said,
That's
how much is the
actually
price?
super cool.
Yeah, that's freaking
I feel
awesome.
like I'd find a way to explode it.
Yeah, and the Texas heat, just throw it out there for like 3 minutes and then it'll explode.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
only bad thing about batteries. So see, that's pretty cool, man. It gives you the cost comparison. Like I have a gasoline generator and it works great, but I want to see how this thing's gonna work. I think this would be pretty cool, more eco-friendly. It'll probably last a lot longer. The capacity is pretty good, but we'll see how much the price is. Like I said, there's the battery pack, so you can actually use two battery packs to power up this whole system, which is part
Oh,
of the
so you can
heavy
replace the
design.
battery packs?
Yeah,
Like it won't go
so that's
bad?
pretty cool. Yeah,
Well, it's the
That's pretty
Milwaukee
badass.
battery pack for the large equipment. Because
Yeah, that's
if
what
you
it
keep
is.
scrolling down, you can see the other equipment that
How
you
much
can be
do
used
those
for.
things cost? How much does like the big one cost?
Let's find out.
The big one, the other one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
'Cause, I
so-
mean, like that's the one you want.
yeah, that's true. For this,
Damn, 600.
Ooh.
$600.
Oof.
Oh man.
So that's $1,200 just on batteries.
Damn.
How
That's not
can
even
you power
including
the
the
damn
actual.
thing?
Yep.
But to be
They're
fair,
They're selling you an overpriced inverter. That's what they're doing.
That's what it is. Yeah. Pure
With
sine wave.
Milwaukee strapped on the side.
That's what it is. It's an inverter. Red lithium battery packs, red line plus intelligence, and pure sine wave inverter. That's what it is. So, yep, $1,200 just for two large capacity batteries, and then you still have to buy the unit, which is probably gonna be like $300. I'm
My
guessing.
Definitely
goodness.
more. I'm calling more.
We'll see. I guess we'll see.
It has
I
to
thought- I
cost
thought it was
more than the
interesting.
batteries.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The
That's cool,
batteries
though.
are already
That's pretty cool.
$600. That thing's minimum gonna be like
I think
1,200.
I'll stick with my power horse. It's pretty cool. This thing works awesome. And I got it for I think it was on special for $350 at that time, and it was great. Yeah, $450. So it's pretty good. But I mean, we use it for the beach. We use it for everywhere. It's awesome. But I thought it was pretty interesting. Something new, something different. They're using different types of battery packs. It works pretty good. Lithium ion is one of the greatest batteries that we have so far. But I mean, technology is getting better every time. So we'll see
Wait,
what
so you
happens.
take your Subaru in the dunes or
Oh
what?
no, I take my. I don't take my Subaru out there. It'll get all
Come
rusted.
on, man.
Nah, man.
I
That's why have
originally
a,
wanted to get a Subaru just so I could lift it and put some all-terrains on that.
Actually, I was looking into a Forester for that, but I could never find one in good condition, so I just stuck with my Silverado.
Nah, they sell lift blocks for the WRX.
Oh,
And
really?
they actually look really cool. Like,
That's pretty cool.
uh,
Man.
Google it, Rally WRX, or Rally lift kit for WRX.
I've seen WR. I don't know, man. It's
No,
just
the new
car.
ones. The new ones.
Like a
Yeah, the 2015 to 2019s.
what the hell?
Yeah, those things look dope, man. I low-key
That's
want
freaking
one.
Crazy. I like the Crosstrek, but they're underpowered.
So's the
I wanna-
WRX, man.
Nah, hell no,
I
man.
gap STIs in my SI.
Oh,
I'm missing a letter because I don't have
what I
all-wheel
want.
drive, and it makes me twice as fast.
What is it? What is the Honda putting out?
Mine?
Yeah.
Right now, it's about like 210,
That's
215.
pretty good.
But it's like light as hell. It's only like
Yeah.
2,000 pounds.
That's true. Yeah, they're really light.
And I got the
That's crazy.
4-door, and that's the one's the heavy one.
You wanna
Oh,
race
yeah.
him, Henry?
All right, guys. So let's go back to the function of the battery. What's that?
It stored the power so the engine can go vroom vroom.
Stores the power, operates the electrical devices for the engine during cranking and starting. That's the most crucial part. Supplies electrical power for the vehicle's accessories when the engine is not running. So the thing is, have you ever noticed your vehicle, if you turn off the vehicle, you can still listen to the radio, turn on the lights, but eventually at one point it'll shut it down? Y'all seen that?
Yeah.
Why do you think it does that?
So that way the
And you-
battery doesn't go kaput and you can
Yeah.
actually start the engine.
So
Exactly.
it keeps
It
just
leaves you
enough
with, like,
juice to actually
on
start
the
the
new
engine.
cars, it leaves you with the minimum cranking volts, but on old cars it says, nah, fuck you. You left it on.
That's
Idiot.
it. Yeah, it's dead. On newer ones, the good thing about it,
Huh?
you have a voltage sensor, an amp sensor,
No,
a temperature sensor, so it'll actually notice if it sees that the battery is actually dying out. If it doesn't have enough potential to turn it back on, it will actually start to shut down certain systems or lights or radios, whatever, until it actually turns back on. So yes, it's there for a safety feature, which is good because if not, it'll leave you stranded. Good thing about that. So be careful with that. Some vehicles do. Like I said, some of these older vehicles do not.
That's why you get a manual. So that way, worst case scenario,
Push start.
it.
Push start it, yeah, that works.
Yeah,
But, I mean, how
John's
many
got the
manuals-
idea.
How many manuals are they actually producing right now?
Mine's
Not
still
many.
a manual.
Not
The
many.
STI is
Yeah.
still manual. Mustangs are still manual.
Some
Camaros
of
are
them.
still manual.
But
Corvettes
most
said
vehicles,
no.
nope, not Corvette. They're gone. Now they have the dual clutch transmission, which is a 8-speed manual automatic transmission, which is
You
crazy.
can
Is the
still get
Challenger still
Challengers and
manual?
Chargers in
I
6-speed.
don't know. I haven't seen a Challenger manual.
Yeah, they still make them.
They still
They
make.
still make them, right?
They've
My
already
buddy got a
announced that by the year
2019 an
2021,
SRT with a 6-speed.
Okay.
that by the year
Nice.
2021 they're gonna stop making them
Yeah, I
like
believe
manuals
it.
like at
Hey, hey,
That's bull.
shut up. Don't make me sad right now.
For reals.
all. I know it's sad, guys. I'm sorry.
Gonna make a grown man
It's
cry.
very true though. More than likely, they're not going to produce anymore. Just like how their other manufacturers are saying, like they're not going to be producing any more internal combustion engines. That is more than likely true. They're probably going to stop making manual transmissions for the
Honda's still
consumer.
gonna leave the SI and the Type R manual. I know Honda. They're gonna do it.
Hopefully, we'll see when that happens. Yeah. So the battery, it's used for the main thing is to start it up and for voltage supply for the rest of the accessories. So it furnishes current for a limited time whenever the electrical demands exceed charging system output. It acts as a voltage stabilizer for the entire automotive electrical system. So this is a very important key point. It acts as a voltage stabilizer for the entire automotive electrical system. So now, I've seen this a lot. How do you check if your alternator is working correctly? What do people usually do?
Plug in my scan tool and do alternator test.
What about an old school method? What do people do old school?
Oh, you hook the voltmeter up to the alternator.
Okay, well, how do you know what's a good voltage reading?
Google.
You check
So-
the battery's cranking amps.
That, yeah, they used to disconnect the battery because remember, what is the battery used for?
Starting.
It's only usually used for starting. The rest of the times, it's actually just a voltage stabilizer. So what people used to do is once the vehicle was started, they would disconnect the negative cable and they would see if the engine still runs. If the engine still ran, that means that their alternator is functioning correctly to power up everything else. Pretty much power up all the electrical accessories correctly. Now, if it doesn't start from the get-go, then more than likely, yes, you need to check your battery first, check your cables, change your output, check your voltage, etc. Now, I do not recommend to do this in today's modern vehicles, only because it is all computer controlled, and the alternator, once it sees that the battery is low, it's usually going to give you a battery warning indicator. So be careful with that. It also stores energy for extended periods of time. The conventional components, mostly every battery is like this. You have positive, negative plates. You have a separator in between. You actually
Huh?
have the plastic case, the plate
It's a
straps,
Vega.
the electrolyte, and the terminals. What is the electrolyte?
Again, Vega's the guy that,
The thing
like,
that
hey, we're
allows
gonna do a couple of
electrons to pass
couple of
through
these early so we make sure everything's smooth.
So why
positive
did they
and
say
negative.
in Gatorade it has electrolytes?
'Cause it's a
Again, with
different
that's a
kind of
different.
electrolyte.
Yeah.
Well, electrolyte's kind of like another word for like potential energy. That's what it is. So the electrolyte here on this system would be actually the sulfuric acid chemical reaction. That would be the electrolyte in an actual battery system. But yeah, it's just pretty much energy. Electrolyte is like another word for energy.
Boop.
Now,
What's
they
up,
talk
brother?
about specific gravity readings, which I have never
No.
done ever in my life. They use a
I'm
old
sorry.
school refractometer, which I've never
I had
used
to
it.
do this shit.
It actually asks you to remove a little bit of sulfuric acid sample into this refractometer and actually check what the specific gravity is for your actual battery. Now,
Hmm?
this is kind of old school because they would actually get a
Bruh.
few samples of each
What?
cell back in the day in conventional batteries where you actually had caps on
Oh,
the top.
dude, I've still got another year of schooling.
Conventional battery.
Another 12 months after this is over.
On the old school conventional batteries, you have caps on the top. Let's use this one.
Yeah, I've had to use those before.
Yeah, I haven't seen these in a while, but they still do sell them. Now, each cap actually has.
Most motorcycles still run them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
also,
Not my
also
motorcycles
friends,
do.
golf carts.
classmates.
Yeah. And you can actually take off the caps.
Some
and
people are
you
doing
have
this
a
on the
total
phone,
of,
and they don't want to
cells
have
in
to keep
each
switching
battery.
between apps to
Each
be able to
cell
see and
usually
hear
has around
things.
2.2 volts.
So
which
I
has
provide
12.6
a
volts
stream
total.
of
They would
what
use the
Pronto
actual
is streaming.
refractometer to remove a little bit of acid in each cell to see what the actual charge
I'm
was
streaming a stream
on
while
the actual
recording
cell
the
itself,
stream
which is fully
that I'm
charged,
streaming.
give you a specific gravity, 25%, 50%, 25%, and discharge. Now, I've never used one.
My computer
I
isn't
highly
giving
doubt
a
you guys will
shit.
ever use
It's
one.
running
So I
fine.
wouldn't worry too much about the specific gravity of the actual cells. I recommend not to actually touch don't touch the acid, don't mess with it. If it's bad, it's bad. Like, you're not gonna fix the actual battery. You're not gonna recompose it. So just leave it alone. Just test it.
I kind of had to do that once.
Really?
I had to dump all the acid that was inside, and then I replaced it with new acid, and then the battery started working again.
Hmm.
It was weird.
The thing is, darling,
That
you
is
But I
could
did,
actually do it
I
now with
guess.
yours.
like what I did was, I
Huh?
dumped it out, and then you know that
Oh, well.
weird like CLR stuff.
Oh,
that,
you're
like,
talking
kills
4K.
like literally every single corrosion ever.
Mhm.
Filled the battery with that, shook it up, dumped it again, then put in the new acid. Then it worked like perfect.
Wow. Yeah, actually, because usually it's not the acid that messes up. It's actually the plates that get corroded,
Yeah.
like you said. The corrosion causes what?
Dropped voltage.
Yeah, exactly. It increases resistance, which drops voltage, which causes a bad battery. So that's pretty interesting because I've actually never done that, but I can see how that actually worked because you use a corrosion inhibitor to remove the corrosion inside the battery to make it kind of like new.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
cleaned it
know
up.
how dangerous it was until after I already did it.
Oh no. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Uh, I don't know if I would do that, but honestly, if you're like in a tight budget, I would totally do that. Now that we know it works, but you gotta make sure that you dispose of the
Nah,
actual.
I already had a new battery. I just wanted to see if it would work.
Oh, hey, well, it actually works. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Oh no. Ah,
Living on the
so
edge.
I know, right? So, the advantages of a maintenance-free battery is it actually has a larger reserve of the electrolyte, increased resistance to overcharging, it has a longer shelf life, can be shipped with the electrolyte installed, and has a higher cold cranking amps. So that is your maintenance-free battery. This is your
But
most
where's
common
the
battery.
fun in that?
Well, I mean, yeah,
It's
that's
not
true.
fun unless you could possibly die.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Wrong.
That's why we're
Wrong.
all into cars.
Oh. Oh man.
Hey, now,
The disadvantages.
I'm interested in
I replaced
repairing the
fan
cars.
clutches with the engine
Yeah.
on.
There's a lot of interest that we have. The disadvantage is a grid growth. Have y'all seen a grid growth on these batteries before?
Mhm.
Grid growth when exposed to high temperatures. Now, a lot of manufacturers are placing their batteries where?
In the engine
In the
compartment.
engine bay, right? Uh, we live out here in the valley, right? How hot does it get?
Pretty fucking hot.
Yeah, it gets
Very
pretty hot.
hot.
It
About an
does.
average of 102 degrees per
Yeah,
day in the summer.
exactly. So not only does the
78542,
outside
right?
ambient temperature affect our batteries, but as well as our charging system.
78542, right?
I think I had a
Or zip
question
code?
last week saying that somebody was working on a BMW and it was asking if we can reset the battery life. Why would you want to reset the battery life?
Because you put in a new battery,
But what are you actually resetting?
the
Uh,
electrolyte, like the gravity, whatever that thing that we
Isn't
would
it
never
that?
do, but in the merging of the new, you know what I mean.
So a lot of modern vehicles, they're implementing, and they've actually done this for a while already. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, a lot of these foreign vehicles have done a system where they slowly increase the amount of voltage and amperage being sent to the battery to prolong the life of the battery. Like I said, uh, batteries go bad when there's corrosion inhibited inside the plates, between the grids. It's gonna happen. It always happens. There's no way around that. What they do to prevent that or to prolong the life of the battery is they increase voltage and they increase amperage gradually till the end of the life of the battery cycle. So let's say after 6 years, the battery has already maximized the potential to receive voltage and amperage. So what happens? When you test the battery, it's going to be good or bad.
Bad.
Pretty bad.
It's going to be bad. Yeah, it's going to be a bad
Horrible.
battery. So you're going to have to replace the battery with a new battery. So now, if you do not reset your computer's programming of this increased voltage and increased amperage, what is going to happen to your brand new battery that you have just installed?
That thing gonna go boom, boom.
Overcharged.
Exactly. So now the thing we just talked about is you're going to
Boost
get
activated.
it's going to get grid growth.
Bro, my engine's boosted and my battery's boosted. You ain't got crap on me.
Maybe it's good on on the engine, but not the battery.
Yo, that's not okay.
So the good thing about this is, well, not really good, but the bad thing about it is if you do not reset the battery, or if you do not find out that it needs to be reset, you will damage this battery in less than 3 months tops. It's going to be overcharged constantly, and it's not going to withstand the heat. It's going to get grid growth, and it will short out internally and will cause a bad battery. So you have to be aware of the vehicle that you're working on to find out exactly what you're messing with. Because if you don't relearn it, you're going to be replacing batteries and replacing batteries and
Yeah,
replacing
it's enough
batteries.
time to buy a new battery, so it's fine. Every 3 months.
But what if you replace it like 4 times in 1 year? Like something's wrong. Something's going on there. And I've had
I've done
someone do
that
that
before.
Yeah. So be careful because it gets expensive. The parts guys are gonna be like, "Hey, what's going on, man? All the time you're replacing the
Nah,
batteries too
bro.
often."
That warranty from O'Reilly's? I got 3 batteries for like 2 years straight.
Damn.
Oh
They
my
just kept
god.
on giving me a new warranty every time I warrantied out the battery.
Shit. Oh, that's actually pretty cool, actually.
It's because I
That's
have a
not bad at all.
company account with the O'Reillys nearby my house, and they're real chill with me. So
That's
it's
cool,
kind of
man.
like they warranty out everything for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, that's good. That's what you want to have. The bad thing about that, oh, but yeah, just make sure that you read the procedures. I know it's a simple battery replacement, but you have to be aware of the systems that it has. It has a system where you have to reset it. You need to reset it because if you do not, you will mess up the battery again.
Okay, but
And it
here's the
will
thing.
overcharge.
I actually wanted to ask you about this.
Mhm.
So on that car, it was a 1984 Caballero, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if you know what that. It's basically it's
The
basically
Ford,
an El
right?
Camino
Yeah, the Ford El Camino.
GMC.
GMC. Okay. But it's the same thing
Yeah,
as a
whack.
yeah.
Literally exact same thing with a different badge.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, cool as hell. Hated that car. So what happened was, like, it died on me during a rainstorm once, right? Like
Uh-huh.
completely. I had the windows down, radio blaring, wipers going. I was chilling. Rolled up the windows. They started going real slow towards the top. I was like, I'm good. Lights started dimming.
Uh-huh.
Things started going slow. I was
Uh-huh.
like, what? Yeah. Then whole thing just died. So
Okay.
I replaced the battery. Everything was going good for like about a little while. Replaced the alternator too. Well, I was at it because, why not? And then it died on me again like 3 months later.
Okay.
And so, like, I thought it was the alarm system. So I disconnected the alarm system because I thought it was a parasitic drain. Nah, died again 3 months later. So I thought it was a sound system. So sadly, I had to
Cover your
disconnect the
boom
subs. I wanted to cry. So I
Sadly.
disconnected that. Still died 3 months later.
Really?
Checked all the wiring. I literally spent 2 days going through every single wire in that car. There wasn't a single bad thing anywhere. Still died 3 months later. Any ideas? I even replaced the battery cables. Like, I did everything I possibly could.
I'm more concerned that you spent a whole year trying to figure this out.
Yeah, like I was dumbfounded. This car was just an absolute piece of shit. I had to make like the wiper bracket broke. Like the whole thing rusted out, so I needed to fabricate like a new bracket. So I did that. Kind of worked. Then like a little piece of plastic broke on the inside. I spent 3 months trying to find it. You do not know how little amount of parts there are for that car. Like, it's a G body, and like there's like a million of those, but you cannot find those bitches anywhere.
That's weird.
Like, they only used it for that year in that car, so it's nowhere.
Huh.
So what was the drain?
That's what
I
we
don't
gotta
know. I
find.
sold
You
it.
ever find it? Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's why I was
Well-
asking. I was like, "Do you got any ideas?"
That's where I wish we had the lab, because that would have been something very cool to actually check out. Now, let me just show you something. So, this is for my engine performance.
Nah, I sold it, and some guy said, "Oh, I'm gonna do a 3 month restoration," and I was like, "Good fucking luck."
um,
I mean,
I'll
it was
just
a
use this
really
for now.
nice, pretty decently rare car. It was one of the few ones with a manual in it, and one of the only ones that was sold in Texas. Like, there was only like for
That's
that
pretty cool.
year, only 3 were sold in Texas, and that was the only one sold in the lower part of Texas. And I thought that was kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
It only
Yeah,
had like
that's pretty badass.
50,000 miles on it.
That's not bad.
Nice car. Thing was a ticking time bomb though. I was gonna LS swap it, but then I was like,
Yeah, that would have been
nah,
cool. I
that's a
think I
lot
had a
of
student
money.
that we did he did a LS swap on a, it was a El Camino actually. And it actually came out pretty damn good. It was actually really nice.
Oh, I wanted to ask.
Uh-huh.
So, what class do you teach next year?
I
It's
usually
transmissions,
teach
right?
transmissions, electrical, engine performance 2. It honestly, it all depends on the scheduling.
Because like, I found this '78 Honda Civic, and I also found this wrecked Type R with an engine,
Hmm.
and I wanted to see if I could swap that into the old Honda.
That's more like that's gonna be kind of difficult because it's not gonna be a direct swap.
Oh no, it's not. But like, I mean, like I can weld and I can fabricate whatever I need, but like I mean like the whole harness deal. That's why I feel
Yeah.
like it's gonna be complicated.
Oh yeah, yeah. That is gonna be complicated for sure. I mean, we'll
But
see it
you
first,
know,
but that's gonna be a
Type
difficult.
R swapped first gen Civic. That sounds cool as fuck.
I helped one of my students design a template for his he had a '69 Honda Civic,
hmm.
and
Oh yeah,
I
you
don't know.
told us about that and you showed us the little template.
Yeah, well, he got it running already. He finally got some guy to actually produce the part that I made for him.
Yeah, it's
And,
one of those.
And hold on, let me see if I have the video. The video.
It
I sent-
literally looks like that blue one.
Yeah,
You
the
have
thing's
your
awesome,
thing
man.
over.
This one right here. This thing's beautiful. And I was gonna buy it off of him for a while back, but I had too many cars at the time, so I couldn't get it. But
I just
Yeah,
got
so
some major
Type
deja
R
vu.
engine in there with, and the guy already did like an E85 swap on it. I know the guy who had the Type R before. He already did like E85 and bigger injectors, and like he was gonna do a turbo swap, and he already bought the turbo.
oh, nice.
He said he was sell me the turbo and the engine.
That's pretty cool. That's not bad at all. Here, let me
So,
upload
like,
it to my
I'm
drive.
pretty down, but like I don't know how to really do the whole electrical component thingy.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty difficult. Hold on. So I designed the adapter plate, and he had somebody in Mexico actually make it. I was like, hey, that's pretty badass, man. So he made it, and he actually sent me the pictures of the actual adapter as well as it running. So I was like, dude, that's pretty cool, man. So the design actually worked. It worked good, and we got it running.
Actually, I'm gonna Google if anyone's done that, because
The
I
swap.
wonder
I
if
would
they.
look up some information first before you get into the actual swap because that's gonna be
I've heard of people swapping in the new like the 1.5 Ts, like the one that I have in my Civic,
uh-huh.
and the new K20 that they have inside the Type R is basically the same mounting thing. It's just a little bit bigger.
That's pretty cool. So that's the adapter that I made, and he got it produced in Mexico. Used that one, and he showed me a couple of pictures. It actually mounted up pretty damn good. Then he sent me a picture of it running. Probably can't hear it, but if it loads. So it's an older one, but he got it for a steal, man.
Oh yeah, they're like cheap.
Yeah. So he actually got it running, man. I was like, that's badass, dude. I told him, dude, use it as a daily. It's a badass little car. So we'll see what happens. But
A
it's
lot
cool,
of
man.
people electric swap them.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
So
It's a pretty cool little design. I think they're nice, man. When you fix them up, yeah, they look super nice.
But nah, Loki wanna do Type R swap and run it on probably Nitro map.
That'd be
Just
awesome. That'd be
just for
really
shits
nice.
and giggles on the track. That'd be like mega fun.
Oh hell yeah, dude. That'd be awesome.
Someone did it.
Oh yeah.
Someone fucking did it.
So back to the case that you had where they kept dying.
Yeah.
What we had to do, we actually had to do a parasitic drain test in Amperage, DC.
Yeah, I did
Then,
that.
but then, what did you find? What was the actual?
There was
reading
no
that you
drain.
found?
I couldn't find a drain. Like nothing was going wrong with it.
It has to have a drain because the battery would not just die out of nowhere. It has to have a drain. Now, normally a typical vehicle will have a drain of 30 milliamps. Now, how many amps is that? Does anybody remember how we did the conversion? Bless you.
30,000.
No. Remember,
nuts.
if we're going from milliamps to
30?
amps,
3,000.
Yeah, it's
1, 2, 3. 0.03 amps. So that would
Oh.
be point.
I went the wrong way.
Yeah, 3 amps. That's usually the minimum specs on a vehicle. Bless you. So if you have 30 milliamps, the battery should last over a month. So what you need to do is make sure that your parasitic drain is connected correctly into the battery. I don't know, maybe it were, I don't know. But
That's
if,
the thing. The only thing that was connected to the battery that wasn't stock
Mhm.
was the alarm system, which I disconnected. Like that was the first thing I disconnected because that thing was like old as hell. It was like something called Crime Stoppers. I couldn't even find one that was newer than like 2005. So I was like, oh, this thing's probably trash. So I disconnected it. And then the only other thing was my sound system, which I installed myself, and I knew that thing wasn't causing a parasitic drain because I tested every single little thing. And the only thing that I did when I got the new battery was I got a bigger, like the stock one was a 78 amp alternator,
okay.
and I swapped it out for a 93 amp alternator off of an El Camino because the guy who had it before me swapped out the 305 with a 350 and a 5-speed out of an SS.
Mhm. I don't know.
So I put the
It's-
correct alternator, the 93 amp, and I put the bigger battery that handled the 93 amp, and everything was running accordingly electrically.
Well, I don't know, man. The only way to find that problem is to use this method right here, and that is putting your DVOM in series with your battery So pretty much anything that's happening within your whole system, your fuel pump, your lights, your amplifiers, your speakers, your boom booms, whatever you have on there, every single thing is passing through my meter at this point. Now, from that point, what you do after you have it on amperage is you actually have to monitor the reading in the DVOM. So the DVOM says, hey, I have
Ow!
1.32 amps. That means you have 1,320 milliamps being drawn at this point. What do you think you have to do at this one point? I know there's a draw, but how do I find it out?
Probably work your way back through the system.
So what is the easiest way to start to disabling power to each individual circuit?
Pull some fuses.
Perfect. So what you need to do is you need to find out how many fuse boxes are in my actual vehicle. Start with one fuse box and you start pulling fuses. Start with number 23. Pull it out. Does it change or not? If it does not, put it back in, go to the next. Pull it out. Pull fuse number 25. Check over here. Does it change or not? No, it doesn't. So then go to the next one. So you have to pull out every individual fuse until you see a drop in this amperage. That's where your actual problem is located at. That's the way you do a parasitic drain. So let's say I pull fuse 6, 15 amp, right? It's just theoretically we pull it out and my amperage drops down to 0.03 amps. What is my specification? How many milliamps is this?
30.
30 milliamps. Okay, so is that our problem?
No.
Yes, we're getting closer because we pulled this fuse and my 1.3 amp, which is 1300 milliamps, now dropped to 30 milliamps. So our problem now lies in this circuit. So somewhere along this line, we have a circuit drawing voltage when it's not supposed to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we're pretty much breaking down the cause of my drain. When I pulled this fuse off, pulled down the main light switch, instrument cluster, central junction box. So you pretty much have to find your way through each circuit and start to remove each individual one to find out the actual problem. That's the way to do a parasitic drain. And honestly, that was going to be part of our chapter 5, our lab. I was going to give you a concern. You were going to set up the meter, show me how to do a parasitic drain test, and find out how to pretty much how to find the problem of the actual drain. Where is it? What are the procedures? And what do you do? And that would be one way, is using it with a meter, amperage, parasitic drain, pull the fuse, it fell down, the voltage. So yes, your concern is going to be in this circuit. Now you actually have to find out, is it a stuck relay? Is it a bad main switch that's staying on? So on and so forth. That would be the way to find out specifically where the actual drain is coming from. Does that make sense? Or did I go too fast? Anybody? Guys?
No, yeah, makes sense.
You're good.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe.
Like I
Lost
said,
me
guys,
when
we have questions. I'll show you here. If not, we do have YouTube. YouTube actually has some good little parasitic drain test videos.
YouTube, you say?
Yes, sir. Like I
Mine
said,
only.
we're covering theory here. So if you have any questions, let me know so we can go over some stuff. But this is how you would actually do a parasitic drain test, which we'll cover in a little bit after we go through some of these chapters. So a bad thing about one of these batteries is a maintenance-free battery is it's an inability to withstand a deep cycle charge. Now, what do you think a deep cycle is?
It's draining the battery completely and charging
Yeah.
it again.
So if the battery dies and you have to recharge it again, and if it does it several times, you will more than likely kill this battery. It's not intended for that. If you actually look at boats, do boats get used regularly?
No, not really.
No.
No. They usually sit there until you want to have some fun, you go fishing, whatever. They use a special battery called a deep cycle battery. So it actually can withstand deep cycling, which they can run pretty much dead and then be recharged and will still function properly. These maintenance frees are not meant for that. A maintenance free battery is usually meant to be charged every single day. No, it's you can leave it around for a month or so, but if you leave it die for too long, it will not be able to get charged up again. So be very careful with that. It has a low reserve capacity. It has a faster discharge by parasitic loads. And it has a shorter life expectancy. I've had several maintenance-free batteries. The max they've lasted me is 3 years. They usually don't last longer than that. From that, how much is a regular battery for a vehicle? Let's say for your vehicle, how much do they usually run for?
Anywhere from 90 to 130.
Yeah, they're $190 to 130. They might have gone a little bit higher. Yeah, they're expensive. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend just a little bit more to get a absorbed glass mat battery or a gel cell, maybe like $20, $30 more. And I'm not gonna lie, they've lasted me over 6 years, and I still have them in my vehicle. So I usually, if my battery dies, it's more than likely out of warranty. I will upgrade it to a absorbed glass mat, better materials, better cycling. It lasts a lot longer, and the charge is more strong. So
I don't know. My cleaning technique for those lead acid batteries seemed like they would last
hey,
forever.
if that worked, why not? And that's pretty cool, actually. If it cleaned up the actual plates inside,
I
you
mean,
can just buy
everything
a
only
pack of
cost me like
sulfuric acid.
$20 to redo the whole battery.
That's not bad. And you know what? I think Interstate Battery does that with their batteries. When you
Yeah,
yeah,
they
right.
do
They,
that.
they repurpose their batteries, so that's pretty cool. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen it done, but
I
that's
actually
pretty
watched
cool.
a YouTube video on them cleaning it, and that's kind of how I got the idea how to do it.
That's pretty cool, man. That's actually pretty
YouTube
cool.
gives me a lot of bad ideas.
Just gotta be
Does
careful with
we
ideas.
all?
Oh no, that's too funny. Hybrid batteries, I haven't seen them a lot. I don't even think I've ever seen one before. It combines the advantages of a low maintenance and maintenance-free battery. Can withstand 6 deep cycles and still retain 100% of its reserve. It has less gassing than conventional batteries. What do you think gassing is?
When the
Like the
hydrofluoric acid
actual like
just
gas, yeah, from the
Yeah,
acid.
exactly. Uh, Now be very careful. I'm pretty sure you guys know this, but if you ever work in a vehicle and it smells like rotten eggs, that's pretty much the sulfuric acid that has been gassing. If that's the problem, or if you do smell something like that, you more than likely have a bad battery or an overcharging condition. Be careful because batteries can explode at that point. I remember I had a border patrol unit come into the service bay, and it was a dual battery purpose system. Well, guys, how is the alternator control nowadays? How do we
Some
know
of
how
them are
much?
on a clutch, which is
Yeah, they
weird.
actually do have a clutch. Yeah. So it won't be overrun by the engine. But how
Mhm.
is the actual charging system controlled?
Electronically.
Yeah.
What
So
he
the
said.
computer is the one that actually dedicates the amount of voltage and amperage to tell the alternator to charge up the batteries. So if my computer has a default or a glitch in the system telling my alternator to charge 100% all the time, what's going to happen to your batteries?
You're gonna overcharge it.
Exactly. So they were both overcharged and they both exploded. Sulfuric acid was everywhere in the under compartment bay, and acid eats up through everything. It ate the plastic, the wires, the harness. It started to eat up the metal. It was so crazy because the insurance adjuster just said, "Nope, we're gonna wholesale it. It's a total loss. Just get a new vehicle." Just because the two batteries exploded. So be careful. It's possible. Just be safe around these things. Recombination batteries, they use gel instead of liquid electrolytes. They can be installed in any position, is corrosion free, and has a very low maintenance. These are the ones that I'm talking about. Can last up to 4 times longer than conventional batteries, can withstand deep cycling without damage, and can be rated at over 800 cold cranking amps. Now, right here, what type of technology do they have here? It says right here.
spiral cell.
Yeah. So who's known for spiral cell technology?
Tesla.
Optima.
Yeah.
Optima,
I was
when
close.
they first started out, they were really, 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 really good. Nowadays, I think their manufacturing process has kind of degraded over the years. The last Optima I had was a red top on my Silverado, and it lasted 6 years actually. So it lasted a long time. Uh,
I actually put one of those on the end at the end of its my ownership of it, like the last year, I had one of those on the Caballero, and it actually didn't die,
No, well, yeah, they're strong. They're still pretty good. Um,
which really honestly surprised me. I thought I just had bad batteries for like ever.
the only bad thing about Optima is their price point. That
Oh,
they're
yeah.
they're really expensive.
Yeah,
what I ended up
but-
doing
but
is
I
I
Paid
think
got,
like
for
250
my
for that
truck.
damn battery.
oh hell yeah, they're stupid expensive. So I was like, you know what? What's the next best thing? Is I got an Advanced Auto Parts, and it's a regular style battery. It's a regular rectangle, but the plates are in square. They're not spiral, so they're just squared out, just like a regular plate and separator. And I've never had any problems with it. And that would be a absorbed glass mat battery. Valve regulated batteries or valve regulated lead acid batteries. So they have two different types of different types of systems. I do have a video. The only thing is I can't show you the video because you can't really hear the volume on it. So I'll have you guys look at that when we're done here.
Wait, why don't you just stream through? Can't we hear it if you stream through Discord?
Because I'm not streaming through Discord. I'm streaming it through the Pronto. If you want, I can have John stream it. I think he's streaming it, right?
I'm literally
he is.
streaming this right now.
Yeah, that's how I'm
Uh,
watching it.
Right now, you can go to Chapter 5, the multimedia, and it is this one, the Johnson Controls Power Solution AGM Battery Animation. If you can load that one up, we'll check it out. And that's the kind of battery I have. It's honestly Johnson Controls. They use, they're pretty much they're makers of all the batteries in most of their systems. They make their own AGM. All that AutoZone does, or Advanced Auto Parts, is they slap in their name, and that's it.
Nice.
Where's Discord?
I have a yellow top
My
Optima
apologies, I may
battery
have
for
to
a
fix
teal weight.
Bad Wolf.
Oh, nice.
Huh?
Your mic is hot. And it's blaring noise throughout everything.
Oh.
Which is either feedback from your mic being too close to your speakers, or if you're using a jack, you need to reseat it.
Yeah, I hear like a little bit of static on yours, Vivian.
Yeah, me too.
And where'd you
On
say that was?
mine, I am so
Yeah.
sorry. I have no idea what it is.
Mhm.
And where'd you say that was?
It's under. Let me show you right now.
uh,
It's under Chapter 5, course content. Chapter 5, and multimedia. It's gonna be the second video. We can watch the first one too, but the second video is the one I'm talking about the AGM.
Johnson Controls has
Stream
developed
within a stream within a stream.
absorbent glass mat or AGM
streaming.
What?
Why is there water?
Stream ships?
Because I was going to give top her a bath and she ran away. Well, I think my stream died in Discord.
Yeah, it's blank.
Huh.
Yeah, it's still black.
batteries available.
I can hear the noise. I just don't see the video.
Yeah, I can't even hear the noise.
I killed the stream, so you're not going to hear the noise. Oh, because it went to the wrong fucking Chrome. That or everything's busted. I don't know.
Hold on, I got it.
That's fine. We'll go through OBS.
We engineered it to deliver superior power and performance that support the electrical demands of vehicles today and
There you
tomorrow. Our AGM batteries provide up to twice the life of standard flooded batteries. They're non-spillable,
Wait, are we eating pizza today?
resistant, and manufactured to the most stringent OE requirements.
I want pizza.
Here's how we
Right.
build
Hopefully
a
I'm
better
getting water.
battery from the
I've been
inside out.
craving Whataburger for like
Our
the past
AGM battery cases are strong
Dude.
because they're
Dude, I had a
I
friend
just
who
want
was
to
like
composite.
I was a friend who was talking about it. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. You're making me hungry.
Every component is made from the highest quality materials.
Dude, I was
Better,
watching
more
freaking
powerful battery
TV
from the
and
inside out.
apparently McDonald's
Our
has a
proprietary
Big Mac
negative paste
ad
accepts the charge
that
quickly,
it's literally
so the
just
battery
showing off a
recharges faster.
juicy Big Mac.
Our
And I sat
high-density
there
positive
watching
paste
it like,
improves cycling performance.
I'm finna
high
risk it
accessory
all for a Big Mac.
applications. And the thick AGM separator is made of glass
Double Big
microfibers,
Macs.
which absorb the acid and prevent
Hero.
spilling. Here's the heart of our AGM battery. The Johnson Controls patented power frame
no, I
grid
dropped the staple.
technology
I don't
is
wanna staple the
structurally
freaking
strong
plug.
and more corrosion resistant than any other grid construction. The result is superior cranking power over the life of the battery. And our
Can I
clean
hear the volume? I
construction
don't hear.
manufacturing processes use 20%
So,
less energy
Y'all hear off
and produce
mine?
20% fewer
I
greenhouse
see the
gases.
video playing. I just don't hear the.
In addition,
I was
we
gonna
use
say
power grid
on mine.
technology
Can
in
you
the
hear it?
negative grid to deliver consistent performance.
I'm watching John's.
Each cell of the battery is
I
made
hear
of
it on,
positive and
uh,
negative plates along with
I hear
the
it on
AGM
Benji's.
separator. All are tightly compressed to hold the paste on the grids. This improves cycling, vibration resistance, and extends battery life.
Bunch of switching back and forth.
Then, as the battery is
Right.
filled with acid, the thick AGM separators evenly absorb and contain the acid. All are tightly
Yeah.
compressed to hold the paste on the grids. This improves cycling, vibration resistance, and extends battery life. Then, as the battery is filled with acid, the thick AGM
You're just
separators
staring at
evenly
me,
absorb
man.
and contain the
What's your
acid,
problem?
so you can install the battery in
You know?
any position without
No.
spilling.
Can
Our
y'all hear
exclusive
it or not?
dual-sealed valve
Yeah, I
assembly
hear it.
is made of
Yeah, I can
engineered
hear it.
rubber, which resists breakdown and maintains a recombinant environment. Pressure buildup, our innovative venting system safely releases the gas in a controlled manner and tightly reseals, maintaining the integrity of the battery system. Tamper-resistant caps seal the case, ensuring a maintenance-free environment. Johnson Controls AGM technology, engineered to provide the comfort, reliability, and convenience that powers your lifestyle on the road.
Johnson Controls.
Jesus Christ, why is the song supposed to be all loud like that? Like, we're actually really freaking loud.
Cool.
Yeah, that thing
So
was loud as
unnecessary.
hell. I didn't. It just made me. It worked.
All right, cool. So let's go back to John's. Unless you're watching on Pronto, whatever you guys want to watch.
Like I was
Yeah,
attempting
I
to say
couldn't
earlier.
get to the Pronto one, so I'm gonna just watch off John's.
Yeah,
Cool.
like I said earlier, for some reason, my screen or my source image from Pronto or from my screen is better quality than Pronto itself.
Whoa!
It's so weird.
Screenception. That was freaky. John, I thought we were going to Pronto.
I mean, there you go.
Whoa.
Oh, is it because I'm looking at the same thing or what?
Yeah, it's because you're looking at my stream. There you go.
Alright, cool.
Solid.
Oh. So let me minimize this. Actually, I don't have to look at your screen. How do I exit? There you go. Alright, you should be able to
Go
see it.
to where you're watching, and it says stop watching.
Yeah. So you should be able to. You see this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So go back to our. So that was your pretty much your AGM. Johnson Control Systems. They make a lot of their batteries for many manufacturers. Like I said, most of the time all they do is they slap on their name and say that, hey, we made it. But it's actually Johnson Controls that makes a lot of the batteries. Going to hybrids and high voltage, guys, this is kind of like an outdated system. But at one point, they did have a high voltage 42 volt system that was used as a slight hybrid modular system. And on this systems, I think I've seen it on the Malibus where they had a electric generator slash starter, where it was actually a giant alternator that was used for two things: to charge your vehicle, as well as drive the vehicle with the electric motor built into the alternator. So it was actually pretty impressive, very smooth transaction. The only thing is, if that alternator slash generator slash starter went out, it was around $1,200 to replace. So it was a very expensive component. So it was really expensive. I think they only made it for like 2-3 years. It worked great, but the components were just too damn expensive. Capacitors, guys. Do you guys remember what capacitors are and what they do?
Yeah.
They hold
They just store energy and release energy very, very, very quickly. On hybrids,
Used
they
them on
have
sound systems before.
yeah,
They
they
work
used to have a lot
really
of capacitors.
Old
there's-
radios have a shit
there's a
ton of
lot of
them.
Oh hell
a
yeah!
lot of people that run like high voltage subs. Like if you're running like 2000 watt 15s in the back, because you a rice boy like that.
The only way.
I've had to install some on some. There was this one guy who had 4 15s in the back of his Suburban.
What?
Yeah, and
Fucking
like the whole
what?
system was like about like
Damn.
4,000 watts per side, so it was
Uh-huh.
about like 8,000 watts of power. So we had two huge capacitors on either side running the amps, and then he had like another 4,000 watt amplifier running for all the speakers.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
Big
like the
bet.
system was insane though. It sounded great, but like honestly was low-key scared those subs were gonna rattle off the glass.
Damn it.
But thing was gnarly. And
pretty
like they use a lot of those capacitors still even like today. Like I installed that like about like 2 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And they'll use that to hold extra power for when like the bass drops happen.
Mhm.
It takes power from the capacitors
capacitor,
instead of
yeah.
from the battery, so that way your car doesn't shut off like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Because we tried running it out without the capacitors, just one set of the 15s, and one bad bass drop that was
brought it
pretty
down?
gnarly, literally killed the engine,
Damn.
and I could not stop laughing. So we had to run. That thing's running like 4 capacitors right now.
That's pretty crazy.
It's running one for each amp, and then there's one really, really big one that's a special reserve that runs to the distributor block,
Mhm.
that runs to the 3 capacitors that runs to each amplifier.
Damn. That's insane, dude. That's a lot going on there.
Yeah, that system
I want to
took
be
me, like
when I
a
grow up.
whole 2 days to install. But
Damn,
thing
that's a
was
lot.
worth it. Like
That's cool,
honestly,
yeah.
if y'all are down for that, hit me up.
Crazy ass setups. All right, so we got several types of battery posts. I think the most common one is you're gonna see is the side terminals and the top terminals. Top terminals are the most common ones. They're pretty much used on every manufacturer. Now, one thing that I have to point out is when you're using a top post terminal, how tight do the actual terminals go?
Snug.
Tight
Yes.
as
French
fuck.
type.
Not tight as fuck. Yeah, just snug. Because
Snap the impact on that hole.
what happens if you over tighten it?
Can
It'll
break.
crack
Can they
and
crimp?
the acid will corrode out of it.
Yeah. So this post is actually made out of a metal, a conductor. But the edging around it is actually plastic. So if you over torque this post right here, you're going to start getting cracks on here, and your terminal is going to start getting corrosion because of the gassing from the actual internal battery. So if you see any type of corrosion on your post, you're more than likely have fine cracks on the edges here, whether it was over torqued or if it was actually a bad battery. I don't see that very commonly on a side terminal, but what I do see is people strip this out. If they strip this out, you need to replace the battery because you cannot fix these terminals. I mean, you can't fix these threads.
You can't recap it?
You might be able to, but the material on here is very soft. So just be very careful with it.
Now you make me want to do bad decisions. Come on.
I'd be too lazy to do it anyway.
Yeah, just be careful
I'd
with it.
retap it. I'm broke.
I'd try it, but just be careful with it because you don't want to puncture through the actual
I'm
case.
on that broke boy gang vibes. You already know.
So
Actually,
you got
I've seen a lot of L terminal ones, but they're all
Yeah.
on like motorcycles.
motorcycles and stuff. Yeah, motorcycles, tractors, and stuff like that, but not for the automotive industry that I've seen.
I know my grandma Sierra has a side terminal.
Yeah, the GM have used side terminals for a while now, and they've
I
really
don't like
transitioned
side
to top post for
terminals.
now. Yeah.
I hate it.
Loki
Yes.
pisses me off.
I don't like
They
that.
That was
strip
another
so
reason why I
easily.
hated that Caballero.
But they
Yeah,
never
my-
had any
My
problems.
Camaro has
with
it
corrosion.
too.
Yeah, Camaros have them. But they never had any problems with corrosion. That was a good thing. But they do have problems with trying to strip out those wires. So you need to be very careful with that.
And that was the issue with my grandma's. is
Stripped out?
it's stripped out because they'd never strapped it down. They never used the block for
Oof.
locking the battery down, so it just
Yeah.
wiggled constantly.
And
Yeah.
it's more of a suggestion than a definitely.
No, you need to
Yes.
have it strapped down.
You
You have
do.
to have it strapped down.
Eh,
What's gonna happen if you don't?
ratchet strap?
It's gonna shuffle all over the place.
Dude,
Yeah.
I should
Crack
try
it.
that.
If you don't have it strapped down, what's gonna happen is those plates are gonna start to mess up. Once those plates mess up, it's gonna go bad really quickly. So you gotta make sure that it is actually strapped down. Whether you use a bungee cord, you tie it down, you use the actual factory, but it has to be strapped down. It does.
3 pieces of gum cool.
As
Yeah.
long as it doesn't move.
Here's
you're
what you
okay.
do: you get a few sheet metal screws, and you put them through the bottom of the plastic part of the battery,
No,
straight into the frame.
Oh no, that's funny. Just be careful with that stuff, because yeah, you have to have it. Make
If
sure
it
that
works,
it's
it
actually,
works.
So the factors relating to the actual battery current capacity is the actual size of the cell plates, the weight of the positive and negative plate active material, and the weight of the sulfuric acid in the actual electrolyte solution. So the reason some of these batteries get more expensive is they actually use a lot better quality material in it, and they usually last a lot longer. Now I've run an economy battery before where they're like 50, 60 bucks. They're usually the cheapest for a reason. It will work. For how long? That's another bargain you're actually taking. Because usually those cheap batteries only give you like a 1 year warranty. And guess what? Usually after the 1 year warranty, it fails like right away. So just be very
That's
careful
why
with
you
stuff.
get lead acid, and you just use CLR to clean it up.
Clean it up and get it going
Or
again.
just buy the $30 recycled batteries.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually I've
yes.
seen those too.
Ooh, you got the ideas.
They
And
work for like 3 months.
I know. I've had some students bring in their vehicles, right? And they have one of those batteries on there. And they were like, "Sir, it keeps dying or it's not charging." Like, well, first of all, what's the CCA? It doesn't have anything. It's like a no label battery. It's all black. So
Those
like,
are
well,
the
what do you do?
best.
I mean, how do we test it? Well, like we're just gonna have to go by the CCAs that your vehicle's rated at and test it like that.
We're
So let's say
guessing.
the vehicle's rated at 600 CCA. So we tested at that, and then the actually output is like 120. Like, bro, your battery's dead completely. Like, there's no way this battery can support your system because it's underrated really bad.
CLR can't fix that.
Yeah, nope, it can't fix that.
Oh my god.
So that's when you actually have to
But
purchase a good battery.
Gotta give it the old college try.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually very true. Hey, sometimes money's tight, man. So we gotta do what we gotta do. So I totally understand what happened. So
Or sometimes you're just too lazy to go and get a new one.
that too. Yeah, either one works. So the battery ratings, we have a couple of them, but the most common one is CCA. CCA stands for cold cranking amp rating. It is the load in amp years that a battery can deliver for 30 seconds at 0 degrees Fahrenheit without the voltage dropping below 7.2 volts. We also have amp hour rating, which is the amount of steady current that a fully charged battery can supply for 20 hours at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. But more than likely, your most common one is going to be CCA. You have reserve capacity, is the length of time in minutes that a fully charged battery can be discharged at 25 amperes before the actual battery drops voltage below 10.5 volts. And watt hour rating is calculated by multiplying the amp hour rating of the battery voltage. So, I'll probably stop here with the actual PowerPoint so we can continue next week. The rest of the stuff is we'll go over the size that determines the battery, what to look for, how to look for it. I'll show you on not ProDemand, but on the MotorLogic as well as the one that we have for STC, how to find the information, and we can go from there.
Just realized we're not gonna be able to use ProDemand again.
Yes.
Wait,
That's the
did
thing.
they pay for it?
I
Is
think
that
they actually
on?
got it running, and now we can't even use it because we can't even go there.
Big ol'
Just
rip.
Go
Using
park
it
in the
right now.
STC parking lot. I don't care.
Or
You
just run a
might be able
long ass LAN cable from like the servers at STC all the way to your house.
Just be careful. if you do that,
No.
Because remember, they're cracking down on people that are driving on the road. If it's non-essential,
Oh yeah, did you hear about the
This is
checkpoints?
essential.
yeah, I heard about the checkpoints too. So you gotta be very careful with that stuff.
Fuck the
Hey, bro, I
411.
will lie. I don't care.
I'm just saying.
Oh, you will once they
Oh,
pull you
what?
over.
I know that
Yeah.
chick. What the hell?
Who, her? That's funny.
That's weird.
But you should still be able to use the SDC one right here. Libraries and computer labs, databases,
Let's see.
But
a
Pro Demand. Ooh,
Pro
site
Demand,
can't be reached. It doesn't work.
doesn't work. Other repair source, and you have this. So you do have this one. It's something.
Hey,
It's
That's
better than
trash,
nothing.
though.
It's better than nothing.
dude,
Trust
it
me,
works.
I use it.
For some reason, that works better for older cars than Pro Demand.
Yeah,
Based on
it
my
does.
experience.
It does. It's so weird, but it actually does work pretty good.
Well, because auto repair source is a open source thing, so a lot of the older people are like, "Hey, I'm going to donate my stuff to this,"
Yeah, that's
and
perfect.
then it gets put up here.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's actually
Old
good.
white car fanatics.
Yep.
That one dude that rolls up with a Fox body and white New Balances.
Oh my god.
That's the one that's giving us all the information.
We all
Oh.
know who it is. Everyone knows one guy like that.
That's funny.
Dude, I
Nope.
live in a 55 plus residency. I'm filled with people like that.
There you go, man. That's
It
freaking
sucks.
Wade Vega. Honestly, is that Wade? 'Cause
I
I
don't
feel
know,
like
man.
he has a Fox body and he wears white New Balances on the
I
weekend.
don't know, man. I haven't seen him with a fox body, but I can see it.
I know he has a Camaro.
Oh, I know.
It's like an SS or something like that.
Does he?
Ooh.
Yeah.
SS stands for Super Slow.
Yeah, he does.
Jeez, that's funny. What else? What else? So we'll stop here today, guys. It's already what 2:20.
Yeah.
Make sure can
Technically.
everybody log into the Electude?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Oh, right.
Um,
On the Electude,
Yeah.
the
Let me check
the
attendance.
task lists thing. Do you just want us to use our own vehicles for the diagnostic and service tasks?
Which one are you talking about? For which one? Batteries? Oh, this
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah, that.
Let me see.
Because it's just a bunch of task things.
Oh, and these, right? You probably won't
Yeah.
be able to do it. You might not be able to do the test.
Yay, 300.
Yeah. So
Oh
on
yeah,
that one,
I needed to ask. I was asking like I want to know about that too because I was like
Because I wanted to ask
Uh,
Wade about that yesterday, but he never showed up to class.
It
did
Wade
around
with a no
2:30.
call, no show.
oh my god.
Yo, Wade
Actually-
showed up to my
Like
class
2:30.
oh yeah
on
yesterday.
Tuesday morning.
We would ask
It
him
was
like
so funny.
we'll
It
ask him a
felt just
question
like
and he'll be
class
like yes.
because he got on the live stream, said, "Hey guys, good morning," and then he got up and left.
What?
Oh, wait.
And like he just
Yeah,
left
sounds
the
like
camera on. And I
think
thought it was
he
the
did.
funniest thing ever. 'Cause that's exactly what he does in class.
Honestly.
I was dying.
So okay, let me ask you this: How are y'all running your other classes? Like, what are y'all doing? Are y'all
Everyone's
even going
running
actually?
Pronto.
Well, if you look at the stream right now, I've got my intro right here. I've kind of already done it all, but
Discord. Okay. Awesome.
Everyone's running off Electude and whatever.
yeah, it's just the basic stuff.
Yeah, that one's basics. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But for ours,
Yeah, I had a question for like those.
Yeah.
Like what do we do there?
I'm probably
Wait,
gonna have
John,
to.
who do you have for
Yeah.
intro?
I have Sanchez.
I'm more than likely gonna have to remove the tasks because that actually has to be used with a vehicle, and sometimes you need to have the schematics. Sometimes you have to have the actual tools, and I don't know if you guys are gonna have the tools or not. So don't worry about the tasks. Just worry about the theory.
I
Go ahead.
Group size, part number,
uh,
estimated service
what I
life, type technology, cranking, and CCA.
It shouldn't be too hard, but what I do want to test you on
Oh yeah,
is the
we can't
simulator. Yeah, so
connect
you won't be
memory
able to do
saving
it.
device.
Yeah. So you probably can't do that. So what I want you to do is I'll stop the watch. I want you to attempt the simulator. That's gonna be our lab. On the bottom here, John, can you go back to my screen so I can show you something real quick?
I'm
And let
there.
me know when
You're
you have
good.
to see
It's
my
good.
screen. Got it. Right here. So do your theory, and I want you guys to attempt this one right here first. It's the Electude Simulator, and this is what I'm gonna be challenging you with. Right now, I want you to click on the simulator, and I want you to attempt it. and you're gonna go ahead and start the module. And this is what I want you. I want to see what you guys can do, and this is gonna test your ability. So on here, you're gonna have this whole screen to yourself, and everybody's gonna do it separately. So everyone's gonna have a different, pretty much grading criteria. So the actual concern is engine overheats, check fan relay wiring, and document findings, repair as needed. So I want you to do your diagnostics. Same thing as we would do at school. So if you had this vehicle in, what would you do? Would you get a scanner? Would you get a DVOM? Would you check fuses? Would you check this, check that? On here, you have your diagnostic tester, multimeter, your key, your diagram.
First, you got to hear the problem.
Yeah. So if you want, it's overheating, right?
You could straight up just
It's a
replace the
Honda
fan.
running at 10K.
Yeah.
It'll last forever.
So you can replace the fan right away, but if you replace it and it's not it, it's points deducted. So we just replaced a fan. It's $200. So you just replace a fan. Let's connect it back. Let's turn it on. Let's get it hot.
VTEC's kicking in, yo.
That's another thing. It is a very finicky system.
Let's check for voltage.
Oof, big zeros.
Nope, it's getting hot. It's already hot. And what is going on with my fans?
It's not getting any power.
No power. Let's look at that. Super hot. So that did not fix the problem. So replacing the fan did not fix the problem. So then what you need to do is you get the schematic. You need to find out how it works. Fan is right here. You need to check out this circuit, that circuit, that circuit, that circuit, and tell me what's wrong with it. What I can do with this, I'm still connecting my meter, is go to my vehicle, systems, actuator test, ECU, and turn on my relay. I think I have to have it off.
Yeah,
Even when I control the fan, it doesn't do anything. It should be 12 volts, but I have nothing. So that's what I want you. This is what I'm gonna test you on. So do your theory, and I added one simulator as of right now. I want you to do the simulator, so I can actually see how you guys are doing with electrical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. That's gonna be our lab. I know we can't do any labs at school, and that's the whole point that I want you guys to actually use the simulator. The simulator is actually super awesome for electrical class. Everything else, it's not really that great, but for the electrical class, it works awesome. So I'm gonna go back and remove the task sheets. So all we're gonna have is battery theory, starting theory, charging theory. It does give me how you guys are doing and your progress. So Ben, you've been on there for 47 minutes and you've only progressed like 1%.
Oh, it's because I had it on during our stream last time.
Okay.
That's why it's.
I remember you told me about
Can you
that.
check mine?
You see,
George?
George was on it too. He's got
George,
he's
Salinas?
exactly
Oh,
the
Salinas.
same amount of time I was on it. God
I have-
damn.
I have
And he
3
has
Georges.
less than I do.
Salinas.
Salinas. So yours is you've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. And you can see that your scores they're pretty good. Yeah. So we have the knowing, understanding, and application. So what you can do, it actually still here. Look at your brakes are pretty much done. So you've actually done quite a bit. That's good. It shows me for all your other classes. So it gives
Oh,
me
that's
the
cool.
red
You can see the
score.
other classes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. So that's good. Yeah.
Wow,
Just
look
keep up
at
that.
you getting everything done.
Oh, I'm just as bad. I'm done with all of breaks. I'm done with most of
I wanna
intro.
have my weekend.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, is it a lot of information, George?
Yeah. There's ones at the bubbles
Uh huh.
or like the slides is like 3 slides with
Okay.
like 3 questions. Other times there's like 6 slides with like 8 to 10 questions.
But it doesn't take too long, right? Just
Nah,
slowly.
the
at
only
your
time it
pace.
takes long is when you get distracted or when you get
Gotcha.
when
See
you
that
get
that
this.
makes it.
Like last time, I got stuck in one of them,
Mhm.
and I was also distracted.
Mhm.
It took me a whole hour, but I could have done it in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and guys, all we're doing is we're just trying to make sure that you guys are continuing with the education. Everybody is already assigned. I noticed that you have like 4 classes assigned to you, so you're gonna have 4 different elective trainings to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if it were me, honestly, guys, what I did, I have a class right now for blueprinting and drafting. Is since we've gone fully online, I told my instructor like, hey, can you give me what we're gonna do for the rest of the semester? Because I want to get ahead. So if I can do it all in one freaking day, I'd rather just do it all in one day. You know what I mean? So um, he went ahead and gave me the chapters that we're going to be covering, as well as the job sheets we'll be doing. So I'm going to take the time when I'm free to get it all done. Because if not, I mean, you have to sit there and read it every day. Just get the stuff over with. The good thing about what we're doing here is we're pretty much separating our batteries, our starting, and our charging. So I'm not having you guys do everything in one day or one week. Take your time. Just make sure that it's done in orderly fashion. That's all we're trying to do. Now, like I said, I think Ben was asking earlier, are we just going to give you like a passing grade or not? We're still going to give you the grade that we have as of right now. But you have to understand, I'm going to be taking this as a lab grade. So when our grading criteria is we're pretty much done, I'm going to add on my grade center, I'm going to add a lab grade for batteries, lab grade for starting, and lab grade for charging. So if you have everything completed very nice and neat, those are going to be 3 separate lab grades. Remember, lab grades are counted for 50% of the grade. Me, I don't feel comfortable just giving you, oh, this is your last grade, this is what you're going to get. Because you will not have any way to either improve it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if you have a low grade
Oh.
now, you can actually still improve it if you continue with your actual work here, because the lab grade will increase it. So that's what I'm trying to do. But we have to actually do the work. Now, if you don't do the work, well, then those 3 lab grades that have zeros, it's just going to bring down your grade. So be careful with that as well. It's not that hard. Actually not that difficult stuff. I do want to challenge you with the actual simulator, which is right here. It says Electude Simulator, and it's right there underneath the Motor Logic. I do want you guys to attempt that, and that is going to be a cool and a good way to test yourself on how to diagnose a vehicle, how to use your meter, how to use a scanner, etc. I would like to see everyone try this at least once. Now, if you guys like it, I will add more. There's like 120 simulators. I'm trying to get you the basic ones because they're still pretty difficult because it's a simulator. It's not like hands-on, like you have it physically in your hand. It's a simulator, so you kind of have to think about it. You have to, give it some time. But it is actually very cool because it even stumped me because sometimes it's gonna get you, and you have to figure out what the hell is going on. When you're in the simulator, when you think you've gotten it, when you click submit it, it'll actually tell you if it's right or wrong. But you also have to write a description of what you did, as well as how you found it, and that's what I want to see. So, any questions on that?
Nope.
Yes,
What is that?
sir. I want to know, talking about homework and all that
Mhm.
stuff, do you still want us to do CM and SM questions?
Yes.
Yes. Continue with your homework questions. Yes. Chapter 5 and chapter 6. And we only have 3 more. So, yeah, go ahead and continue with your
Mhm.
chapter homework. So, chapter 5, read your battery chapter, answer the classroom and shop, but we're not going to take a test over it. So, make sure that you have the correct answers the first time.
Okay,
So,
got it.
yeah, so answer we're still continuing with our chapter homework, and we're just adding the electude for our lab pretty much. So,
Okay.
hopefully, everybody knows that. Yeah. Any other questions?
So no
No.
test.
No, yeah, no test. We're not gonna do a test. So far, the way it's looking, if we don't go back to class, we're not gonna have a test. We're not gonna have a lab final, and we're not gonna have a final. So those are the 3 things that you kind of saved yourselves on. But we are gonna be continuing our lab grades with this, and we are continuing with our chapter homework. So make sure you do your chapter homework because at the end of the semester, if you don't have anything on there, I have to input zeros, and that's gonna be affecting your grade. If you're missing anything prior to chapter 5, let me know, and maybe I can open it up for you. But stick with 5, 6, and 7, and continue from there. Cool.
Cool.
Any other questions, guys?
Heard.
Yeah. Where do you want me to put this video? Do you want me to send it to you via email or what?
Uh, does it save on Discord?
No, I I'm doing this through OBS,
Oh, OBS.
actual video recording software.
Yeah, I have that one actually also. It's pretty good. Can you send the file through Discord? I think you can send a file through here.
I think it's like 5 megabytes is the max.
Oof.
Yeah.
Try it.
I think it's a little more because I have Nitro, but oof.
Try it out. If not, send it to my email. But even my email might not let you because
I was gonna say I was also thinking about doing just a drive.
Yeah. How do you do how would you drop it into the drive?
Is you literally upload it into the Google Drive, and I provide you a link to the
Oh yeah,
drive.
you can do that too. That works too. Yeah, that'll work. Either one you want. Oh, you know, I forgot to take attendance. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we should probably do that.
Yes, I need to keep attendance to make sure that I know who's actually showing up.
I know there might be some people that aren't in Discord but are on Pronto, so.
Yeah, so I'll check both.
It's a shame I'm not here.
Yeah, it's a shame you're not here, Brian.
I'm not in the Pronto.
No.
No, we know, Ben. We see.
Still counts me absent.
John's here, and then we have Bad Wolf is Vivian.
Vivian,
Right?
yes.
Vivian. Oh yeah, right here. Yes. And then we have Brian.
Maybe.
Here. Dr. Miguel. Dr. Miguel is here. Here.
Miguel, change it to Super Doctor.
Hector. We got Hector here.
The doctor is in.
The doctor's in. Julio Dame is here. Lord Salina's here. And then we have me. Who's our northeast deer?
Sebastian.
That's a
Sebastian?
good question.
Sebastian is here. And then we have who's Shadow Goat?
Me.
Who's me?
Ben.
Ben. Alright, Ben.
Yeah.
Why didn't y'all just put your regular names? Y'all confusing me.
Bro, this is Discord.
Oh no.
I was gonna look at my
Now,
This
please
Discord
note,
since,
y'all.
like
I know you guys are-
2008.
That's funny, man. Okay, so that's on
It's not
Discord.
even my username anymore. Thank God I
Let me
don't have
check
my new one on
on-
here.
Did I miss anybody? Steven didn't show up today.
No.
George Lizondo, he's here.
I'm gonna change my name to Ben Dover.
Oh my god.
Ruben Munoz. No, George Leal is here.
Yeah? Where?
He was here.
He was here? Okay.
yeah,
Angel
left.
didn't show up.
He's an essential.
And Artemio didn't show up.
Yeah, he had
Remember,
to go to
he
work.
works at HEB.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, so
Alright. So, we just didn't Steven didn't show up. Ruben messaged me earlier, so he's okay. Angel, Essential, Artemio, I haven't talked to him. I need to contact him. What's going on? Everybody else showed
He's
up.
working.
Artemio also?
Yeah, Artemio's working.
Okay, hold on. Let me write this down. So Angel, Artemio are working, right?
Rar!
George too.
George is working also.
yeah,
Yeah,
he works.
Leal.
George, yeah.
I thought I was gonna pull it out.
We got a lot of essential people up in this class, huh?
Yeah, that's good, man. That's crazy. George Leal and Ruben actually are working. Guys, just I understand the situation. Just tell them what we have to do. I mean, he should already know. That's why I want to have a recorded session so they can watch it whenever they get a chance. But just let them know what we're doing. You know the way we're rolling. We're already in chapter 5. Just do the chapter questions, and do the electude. That's pretty much it. And I also want you guys to do is attempt to do the simulator. The simulator is actually pretty cool. Test yourself. Try it out. See what you think, and I'll check it out. If you guys do it, I'll actually cover. I'm sorry. Once you finish it, next time we'll meet, we'll go over the actual simulator and see what we did and see what was actually wrong with it.
Can
But I
you do
want
it
you
in
guys.
multiple tries, or is it just once?
Yes, you can do it multiple tries. Yes. So try it
Does
out.
does that go with the module too? Can you do the module multiple tries, or?
Yes, you can. So if you want to go back to it, you can actually improve your grade by going back and doing it again.
Oh, okay. I was thinking. I was like, cause there's some where I was being an idiot, cause I was also being distracted.
Uh-huh.
So I got like an 80 or something, and it's like,
No, yeah.
Bro,
I
what
could have
is
gotten a 90
distracting
or
you?
100.
You can't go anywhere. You're stuck at home.
It's called Netflix and YouTube. I'm watching something, and it's like I have stuff in the background just so you know I can have it in the background.
Mhm.
But then it gets too good.
Bro, I'm the same way. I put on this show that I thought was gonna bore me. It's called Battlefish. It's about tuna fishers.
Dude,
Battle-
yes, it's
So I was
great.
like, yeah, this ain't gonna be interesting. And then next thing you know, my ass is not even paying attention to my computer. I'm literally sitting back watching the TV, and I didn't even realize I was watching it for 5 hours straight. I finished the entire season.
Damn, son.
It's
Not
so
gonna
good.
lie, pretty good show.
You guys should watch. Don't
Wait,
Fuck
John,
with Cats
did you
on
watch
Netflix.
it?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, the boat captain on TNT, low-key pretty sure he's a meth addict.
I think so. Yeah.
Dude
That's
is
hilarious.
nuts. I love it. Honestly, recommend it.
That's awesome.
You'll
called
have like
Battlefish?
every single different type of like high school clique in there, which I thought was absolutely funny. You have the weird crackheads. You have those ROTC people. You have those rich white kids.
Mhm.
It's great.
That's awesome.
And they all fish for tuna.
That's cool, man. What was it
Honestly,
called
thought
again?
it was gonna
It's called
Battlefish.
Battlefish on Netflix.
Battlefish. All right.
Loki
You
thought it was
should-
gonna be boring as hell.
You should
But it's
also
actually
watch
pretty interesting.
Don't Fuck with Cats. That one's a really good one. It's like-
Yeah, Don't Fuck with Cats is good.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's a guy that kills cats and then he just kills a guy and boom.
Yes, I saw that one. That was insane.
It is.
That's charged up.
I've been watching like every single like Netflix comedy special too. There's
Anybody
this one
seen
dude,
Tiger
his humor is
King?
dark as
Yes,
hell, and
Tiger
it
King
makes
was
me
funny.
laugh harder than I've ever laughed in my entire life.
I
He's
finished
like
Tiger King,
Daniel
like last
Sloss or something like that. He has a weird last name. He's Irish or something like that.
week.
Super funny.
So that's it for today, guys. Any more questions for electrical?
So are we live streaming right now? Are we gonna play some games or what?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Who's gonna play so we can watch?
No, I'm playing till the weekend. I gotta
He was
finish
literally
my-
talking about how you don't do your work.
I know, right?
You wanna stream?
I gotta finish.
I don't do
homework
my work
first.
till like
There you
2
go,
a.m. in
man.
the morning.
I wait till it's those nights where I can't sleep. I just log on